Okay, and welcome to part one of what I'm sure is my eagerly anticipated commentary for my eagerly anticipated Let's Play of Mass Effect 2. One thing you're gonna notice is that this is a much longer Let's Play than the first game. I don't think the runtimes are that different in
More than we could have hoped for.
in the two games, but
Commander Shepard uncovered the truth.
but
And
they did
still
a better
it's
job
not enough.
integrating the gameplay
We're at war.
as part of a
one
story.
wants to
The
admit it,
first
every
Mass
man is under
Effect,
attack.
it was more of a
They're
traditional,
sending him to fight Geth.
you talk
Geth.
to people to get
both
it
know
in,
about
you
the
know, an
threat.
interactive
The
cutscene,
relays are still
and you play,
It's up to
and
us to stop
and then you shoot things.
The council will
This
never trust Cerberus.
has
They'll
more
never
of
accept our help.
your
Even
teammates
after
make
everything humanity
comments
has
and
done. Shepard. They'll
this
follow
has more of your teammates make
He's a
comments
hero,
during the
bloody
gameplay,
icon.
so the
He's
gameplay
just
and
one man.
it all,
If we lose Shepard,
and it
humanity might
feels
well follow.
it all
Then
feels
see to it
integrated.
that we don't
I'm not
lose.
the only one who thinks Martin Sheen must be some sort of closet science fiction fan. I asked that because he went out of his way to play. He went out of his way to play an alien in a Babylon 5 TV movie after that series ended, and now he does a voice in here. I don't know. I don't know if that's enough to prove it, but it seems like he's like one of those celebrities that sort of must be something of a science fiction fan, because he actually switched parts on that Babylon 5 TV movie, from what I understand, where he would have to shoot, where for the same price he would have to shoot. He would have to do a lot more shooting, and he would have a much earlier wake-up call and have to do all the difficult makeup just because he wanted to play an alien in the science fiction thing.
4
So,
days searching up and down this sector, and we haven't
and
found
then he's
any
really
sign
good
of
at this.
Geth activity.
Oh, and can I just address an elephant in the room?
Ships went missing
If you're
here
listening to this,
last
I'm
month.
sure you've seen my other parts,
happened.
and
My money's on slavers.
I know I
Terminal system is
misspelled
crawling with
it.
them.
Picking up something on the long-range
The actress who plays Miranda,
Unidentified vessel.
here I spelled it correctly,
Looks
but
like a
in the
puzzle.
credits for the rest of this
Imagine
thing,
no
I misspelled it because they were done at two different times, and I looked it up, and I have
There's no way a Geth ship could possibly
and I misspelled it, and there's also a misspelling in the opening caption of Elusive Man. And what happened there? Well, here's the thing: is with the Miranda thing, I'm a huge fan of the series Chuck. There really is no excuse for that, and I thought she was great in the last season of 24. And yeah, here's the last remnants you'll see of. Normally, I think it's default. It's Liara. Here's the last remnant you'll see of the game, thinking that Ashley was the love interest, even though I went out of my way to try and keep her from being in
beacon is ready for launch.
Mass Effect 1. Yeah, that's the one. That and something I'll talk about later, or the one thing I use
Get everyone onto the
I use the save editor for to end it.
I'm not leaving either. Get to the damn shuttle. I'll haul Joker's triple blast out of here.
Yeah. Oh,
Commander,
you know,
get the hell
you
out of
think
here.
they make that chair like a wheelchair or something that like locks into place? I just thought of this. All this time I thought of it, I just thought of that. So that, you know, in this, so that in a situation like this, he wouldn't need anybody to haul him out, or he gets killed, you know, risking their lives. I'm just saying. And I know you never plan on a ship going down, but that's got to be the reason there are escape pods. Oh, and I have the same question here I have with the Star Trek reboot movie. Why didn't they blast the escape pods? I mean, if their goal was to kill everyone, why didn't they blast all the escape pods? I mean, well, at least there, I guess, they had another ship crashing into him, but it doesn't seem to have stopped them from wiping out an entire fleet later on in the movie.
We've suffered heavy damage from an unknown enemy.
Except,
Come on, baby, hold together. Hold
Harry,
together.
baby, hold together. But yeah, this is how you start off a sequel. I played most of the original Mass Effect, and then my Xbox broke down, and at the time, Microsoft was still denying the Red Ring of Death thing, and they were quoting me insane prices to get it fixed, so I just gave up on my Xbox 360 for a while, and then I
Come on,
didn't,
Joker.
and then it wasn't until this came out on the PC that I got
Normandy's
this
dead. Just like us, we don't get the hell out of here.
into it, that I got into it, and I have to say, this is a great example of just how to begin a game, and just, you know, get you hooked immediately, and also get players acclimated to the controls. I'm not very good with shooters or really anything that requires me to use both hands at the same time, but it hooked me into the characters so much that I ended up, and they did such a good job, getting the controls right, and what's more, the PC controls, I think on Mass Effect 2 are much improved over Mass Effect 1, I'll say that. Mass Effect 1 I think is still my favorite game of the series overall, but because I kind of missed the exploration aspect. That's one of the things that I've always liked in RPGs or really any game. I mean, it's what kept me playing Myst for over a decade before I finally beat that game. So, yeah. Although, I want to know, how was there enough of him to recover? They later say that he's definitely not a clone, that it's definitely not a clone, but it seems like the whole Ripley alien clone thing is from Alien Resurrection is actually a little more plausible than they picked up enough of Shepard to resurrect. But anyway, as I was saying about Miranda, the actress's name, I'm not good with foreign names. I've never heard anybody say her name, so I don't want to get in. I don't want to try and say her name and get it wrong and insult her more. But I looked at the instruction book here for the spelling of her name, and when I did the credit sequence, I looked online and I got the wrong spelling online. So sorry about that. And yeah. Here's the thing, is it takes a whole night for one episode of any of these Let's Plays to render on my computer. To put all the pieces together, to take it from Fraps, render it into a format that YouTube will upload and everything. So every time I change the credit sequence, and I did the credit sequence like 4 or 5 times for each episode to try and yeah, and I did that for each of the first 7 episodes. I did that, yeah, for the first 7 episodes, that represents about 4 or 5 nights' work each time I had to change the wording of the opening caption on there, and, I
think he's waking up.
Yeah, and, I'm aware that I misspelled Elusive Man in the opening credits sequence that you'll see starting in episode 2 in the recap, because I looked that up in the dictionary. Yeah, I reached for my handy dictionary when doing that, and I went for the first one I found, spelled with an E, and it seemed to describe the character, so I didn't think twice about it. Oh, and I realized that the O, I accidentally messed that up out of pro-human, but after I had done by episode 7, it took me about a 4th time to get the credit sequence and the wording of the opening caption that gives you some backstory.
Do you hear me? Get out of that bed now. This facility is
You see, this is perfect for someone like me. I know, I normally hate, tutorials that are put in games, that are unskippable. Normally I'm like, ugh. I hate that. I mean, but,
This pistol
yeah,
doesn't have a
It's a med bay. We'll get you a clip from. Damn it! Those canisters by the door.
why on earth?
Keep your head down, Shepard. Shield yourself.
Those aren't oxygen tanks for something, because we see them in other places, and they're definitely not oxygen tanks. So I want to know, what were those explosive canisters that were near the door, and why were they being kept near the door of a med bay? And yeah, she says that the pistol doesn't have a verbal clip in it because it's a med bay. But I have to ask, well, then why was there? Well, then why did you have a bunch of weapons? Why did you have a bunch of body armor in there and explosive canisters?
Shepard, security makes a closing in on your position.
Why does anybody bother with these things?
Cover while you take out those mechs.
Anyone who knows what they're doing, they're easier to take out than those stupid robots from Star Wars prequels. Plus they seem to easily just turn on whoever is using them.
Nice work, Shepard.
There's a whole subplot. I think I pretty much cut it out here because there are a lot of subplots. That's the other thing, is this is going to be a much longer Let's Play simply because the subplots are more integrated into the story, and they have like what became known as loyalty missions, where you can get the crew's people to trust you by
Don't waste time. I can't keep the mechs distracted
by running missions for them, and that takes up.
More reinforcements heading your way.
There might actually be more gameplay in this than there is in Mass Effect 1. I'm not 100% sure. Although I like the exploration in the Mako as opposed to the planet scanning. That you'll see later in this game, but you won't see that until episode 2, so I'll talk about that there. But yeah, I know I've talked about the credit sequence way too much, but yeah, but just so you know, I did work. I'm sorry to everyone out there who watches this. I know it seems like kind of disrespectful to you, and I'm insulting your intelligence by leaving a couple of typos in there, but yeah, by episode 7, even if I had done it 4 times, that amounted to 20-some nights of work, and it was just like, correct 2 more spelling errors, doing another, adding another week to that. I just got busy with the holidays, and I don't know if any of these will come out before the holidays or after, because that's how busy my schedule is. I'm recording this on the 15th, but the commentary here, I haven't actually finished Mass Effect 2 yet. But yeah, this is something I find really hard with my movement disorder. As you can see, this is something that's really easy for everyone else, but yeah, I'm not going to make you suffer through me hacking through everything. And I don't blame the game makers. It's it actually works better than the hacking minigame in Mass Effect 1. I give BioWare a lot of credit. They did listen to a lot of the feedback on Mass Effect 1, and gameplay-wise fixed a lot of things, and like, the hacking past doors, it makes sense that doors would be locked and you have to hack past them, but I wish there was a way to get through that for me, because as you can see, my movement disorder makes it hard for me to get my fingers right on, move my hand with that kind of precision there. Yeah, my shooting isn't the best either. I've beaten all 3 of the Mass Effect games on the hardest difficulty, but
Thought you were still a work in progress.
Are you with Miranda?
Yeah, sorry. I forgot this is all new to me.
and yeah.
I'm Jacob Taylor. I've been
That
stationed.
helmet is something that I don't exactly like in the cutscenes because it hides the eyes. I'm kind of against anything that hides the eyes, but if it makes,
I'll fill you in.
but
we better
it
get to the
does
shuttle
give you a
first.
boost of having like your shields recharge 10%
I know
quicker.
this is
So
but I'm sick of stumbling around when I don't know what's going on.
as
Fair
people
enough.
say, the
I'll
eyes
give you
are
the
the
quick
window to the
version.
soul.
You
And
your ship were attacked and destroyed. You were
am I
killed.
the only one?
Dead
Am
as
I the
they
only
can
one
be
who
when they brought you here. Our scientists spent the
I
last 2
can't
years
be
putting
the
you
only
back
gamer
together.
out there
You've
who
been
like
comatose.
grew up. My
Good
first
work
system
that
was the
whole time.
Vectrex, and who looks at
Welcome back
something
to
like
life.
this and is just like. When
I'm
people
having some
complain
trouble wrapping my
about,
head
you
around
know,
this.
graphics in
Yeah,
modern
I can
games
imagine.
or like
The Alliance
graphics on the
officially declared
Wii
you killed in
U,
action. Whole
you know, the
galaxy
fact
thinks
that
you're dead.
this is the
If we don't get to those
baseline for
shuttles,
some
they'll
for
be
our
right.
graphics
Were there any
now,
other survivors from
that
the Normandy?
just
I'll tell you
blows
what,
me
you
away.
help
I
me finish off
mean,
these mechs, and I'll play 20
I,
questions
I'm,
with you all
I
day.
mean,
We're
I've
low
been
on
a,
thermal clips,
I
but I'm a
mean,
biotic.
I've been
Just give
attached
the
to
order
game
when you want me to
characters
hit 'em with the good
before.
stuff.
I mean, I'm probably the only guy on the internet who will ever defend Final Fantasy
What do you want to know?
8. Yeah, I'm cutting out most of the combat so you don't have to watch me pull through it. But yeah, again, like Mass Effect 1, I'm keeping it on easy so I can get through it quicker to
The last thing I remember is the Normandy blowing up.
get to
Did
these
anyone
parts.
else make it?
Just about everybody survived. A few servicemen from the lower decks didn't get out. Navigator Presley was killed by an explosion.
No,
Everyone else, including the
Murdoch,
non-alliance crew, the Asari,
no!
Liara, and the Quarian, they all made it out alive.
Do you know what any of them are doing now?
I think
It's
that
been 2 years.
they're mostly
moved on.
drinking.
Left
Her
the
Joker
Alliance.
got
Could be anywhere.
her
They were my
Joker died
They
in
knew I was
prison of a
alive.
drug
They'd
overdose.
come
Oh
back.
wait. That's
Maybe you
the
can track them down
that's
after
the
we get off the
backstory
station.
for Blues Brothers
If we get off the
2000.
station.
The backstory
You said they spent 2 years rebuilding me?
backstory for
How
this
bad were my injuries?
for this
I'm the doctor, but it
M-rated
was bad.
action
When I first saw
RPG
you,
is
you were
actually a
nothing
lot
but
less
meat and
depressing
tubes.
than that one.
Anywhere else, they'd have put you in a coffin. But Project Lazarus was different. Cutting-edge technology.
What do you mean? Cloning? Cybernetics?
I don't know the details. You'd have to ask the scientists. But I'm pretty sure you're not a clone.
Project
They wanted to
Lazarus.
bring you back
At least
exactly as you were.
they kind of seem
Still
to have
you.
gotten the
You just might have a
right.
few
I
extra
mean,
bits and pieces.
obviously,
What can you tell me about
everything
the
where a
project?
hero
Were
comes
there
back
other
for a
test
dead
subjects?
from the dead, somebody's going to
Lazarus
make a
only had one
Jesus
subject.
metaphor.
The whole point
But
was to bring you
since
back.
Shepard is being brought back
And
by
that was a
somebody
challenge.
else,
2 years.
it does
All
seem
the top
like
scientists.
Lazarus
Best
would.
technology
You,
money could
you know,
buy.
at first, you think go for the obvious, just call it Project
Do you know
Jesus.
anything
But
about this
Lazarus
attack?
is actually
Who's
more
behind it?
accurate
What they're
since
after?
Lazarus was brought to
Damn
the
if I
back
know.
from the dead
I was
by
getting ready for some
Jesus.
shut-eye, and bam, bunch of explosions. Next thing I know, every damn mech in the place starts shooting at us. I'm guessing it had to be an inside job.
Why can't anybody ever
need
program
top
these
security
robots
access to hack all
in
the
modern
mechs.
science fiction with Asimov's free
What's your
laws of
job here?
robotics?
Depends
Oh,
on who you
and
ask.
don't give me
Technically, I'm
the
Miranda's top
BS they
But I'm
gave
just a
you in the
soldier.
movie
I
version.
served 5 years
No,
on the line
Asimov was always a
before
lot
this.
more clever when
Now I'm
working
in charge
around
of
it, and
the
it was,
station's security.
and it never seemed to be as
Usually a
straight up
lot
as
more
robots
robots.
just turning and
No
killing
one will
people
fire
and
my
finding a
gun
way to
unless
just
it's
straight up
practice.
ignore the laws. It always seemed to be
When I
walkarounds,
first woke up, someone named
workarounds
Miranda
of the
was
laws
talking
of
to me over the radio.
robotics.
We lost
Not
contact just
walkarounds.
before I
Why
ran
was I
into
saying
you.
walk around?
Miranda Lawson is the
Because
station's
I'm an
ranking
idiot.
officer. She led the Lazarus team. It was her job to bring you back to life, no matter what. Should have guessed she'd try to save you.
Really?
She's not about to give up on
Really?
you now.
You
She said
you
lost
didn't
contact.
guess that she would
Could you tell
try
what was
to
happening?
save the
There was
whole
some gunfight
point
and
of
it
this
exploded right
project?
before I lost
What, you thought the first time
She knows
something
how to
went
take care
wrong,
of
she'd
herself.
go, well, there goes 2 years of my
Quickest
life.
way to those shuttles.
Depends where the mechs are thickest.
And,
Probably best if we-
as I said, Mark Meir, he got a lot of criticism Mass Effect 1, but I think he really improved here. Yeah, I got the criticism, but,
This is Jacob. I'm here with
here
Commander Shepard.
he sounds
Just took out a wave
like
of mechs over
military
in D-Wing.
people I've met. They, you know, I'm just saying, I met some but it's like,
Roger that, Wilson. Stay on this frequency.
I think I remember a Wilson checking on me one time.
I remember thinking even then he sounded
That's
like
him.
the shady,
He's the chief medical tech.
shady,
Answers directly
guy
to
who was
Miranda.
gonna
Come
stab
on.
me in the
Service
back.
tunnels are this way.
He's gonna stab everybody in the...
Log update. The Lazarus project is about to enter the final phase.
See, I have a lot easier time moving around, and I like the contextual textual controls where they have fewer buttons. That works a lot better for me, at least with my movement disorder. And some of this moving around is an example of my hand, like moving on the mouse, or and the fact that I have a lot of trouble actually giving commands to two hands at the same time. That's why I never passed driver's ed, and I'm 30 and I still don't drive, is because of that. And I've never been able to have it completely diagnosed, and it doesn't look like. But if it is, it doesn't look like anything that can be treated.
Oh God, they found me. Help!
Help!
Where are you? Server room B. Hurry! They're out of control.
I mean, like slam into a Slim Jim in a library out of control.
Physical reconstruction of subject.
But as I said, yeah, I respect her as an actress. I think she was good in Chuck, and it didn't have anything to do with her looks or anything. Although in here, she does kind of remind me of Emma Peel of the Avengers when she has black hair, which is kind of weird. But
Shepard, down here! Bastards got me in the leg!
yeah, that's not something obviously a traitor does. And where are they? Where are they exactly? They shot you in the leg and just left?
How about we talk about this after we fix my leg?
Should be some Metagel in the first aid station on the wall.
And I have the same problem here I have with the first game. You're M-rated, but I don't see any blood anywhere, and the bodies instantly disappear. I'm like, I know that it reduces on the processing power needed not to have that, but still,
I thought maybe I could shut down
it does take away from the immersion a little. But
completely irreversible.
I have trouble not getting immersed in any game with that is this kind of voice acting. I mean, I got attached to the characters in Final Fantasy VIII just based on their blurry PS1 faces and their dialogue in the text, but I have to say that when people complain about graphics in modern video games, I guess it depends on when you were born or something, but I grew up with the Vectrex, Atari 7800, and then a really kind relative gave my family, who couldn't afford a brand new video game system, a used NES, which I kept playing until I think it was about the year Crash Bandicoot 2 came out that my family finally got what was a modern video game system. But the first time we had gotten a system that was actually modern at the time, which was the PlayStation one Christmas. But yeah, I still have that NES. So if you ever hear this out there, and
the program that rebuilt you, it's funded and controlled by Cerberus.
I think I ran into Cerberus.
You think?
While I was investigating
they killed an admiral who you talked to. And conducted all these ungodly experiments to
Look, I'd be suspicious too,
would
right
make
now,
Dr.
we're
Frankenstein
together.
blush, and you only think you ran into them.
Once we're off the
Maybe
station,
the
I'll take you to
reconstruction
the
of
news
Shepard
command.
wasn't that
He'll
good.
explain everything. I
See,
promise.
there it is, spelled correctly with an I, and yeah, I know. At one point in the credit sequence, I spell it correctly enough, but in the recap that I put at the front, which it took me 4 or 5 tries going through the credits to get that right. So, at one point, I was trying to do it with a combination of clips and text, and it clocked, but it clocked in at over 7 minutes. And I thought about keeping that with a warning, but as you'll see, I didn't.
Despite
But
the extent of the physical
yeah.
trauma, Wilson assures me subject is salvageable. The
But
Lazarus
yeah.
project will proceed as planned.
But yeah. If anybody knows how to pronounce her name, and anybody bothers to leave a comment, if anybody even bothers watching this, but
Through here. We're almost at the...
yeah, but if anybody
Miranda,
bothers to leave a comment, and you have a link to somewhere where I can actually
Dead?
hear her pronounce her own name, I would love to hear that because
job. Wilson betrayed us all.
while I didn't
I had a feeling Wilson was just looking for a chance to shoot me in the back.
because there isn't an NBC affiliate
people have
in
thought
my
Chief
area
Wilson's
that
ever said that
broadcasts
coming.
over the air,
Come on,
my
let's grab the shovel and
family
get out of
can't
here. My boss
afford
wants to speak to
cable
you.
out,
mean the elusive man?
and it's
I
not
know you work
available
for
out
Cerberus.
or satellite, and
Jake,
cable isn't available
should have
out
known your
where
conscience would get the better of you.
that's why there
Lying
isn't
to the
it.
commander
That's
isn't
why
the way to get him to
these
join
go
our
up
cause.
so rarely.
Well,
Is
since we're
it's
getting
when I
everything
can
out
get
in
into
the
the
open, is there
local
anything else you wanna ask
library.
before we go, Commander?
Convenient that you show up as we're leaving. Where were you during
It's
the
when I
attack?
can get up to the local library
Besides trying to save your life?
to
Wilson figured out I was
put
helping you
to
and sent an army of
and
mechs to
upload it
take me
using
out.
their high
I got here
speed.
as soon
But
as I could. Probably a little too soon.
but
to ask Wilson.
I do like this actress because
You're the
I
Lazarus
didn't discover
Project's
Chuck
director, aren't
until a few months after
That's
it was
right. I put 2
canceled
years of my life into this project.
on
you.
Blu-ray, and
What
I
does
actually
Cerberus
went
want?
out of my way to buy every
Maybe you should
Blu-ray
ask the
copy
elusive
I
man
got.
when you meet him. He poured virtually
New,
unlimited
even though I
resources into
normally
Lazarus.
look for things in
Obviously,
thrift
he has some
shops,
kind of
and
plan for you.
that took a huge chunk of change for
What about the rest of the people on the station?
my
This is the evac
income
area. If
simply
they're not
to
here
support
now,
it,
they're not
because
coming.
I think Chuck
We can't leave
is
without knowing
one
for
of
sure.
the
We need to go
best
back and look.
shows ever made. It's
Don't
like
you
in my
think?
top 10
Only
television
one
shows
works
ever
maybe
made.
you,
It has
everyone else
just
is
the right
expendable.
balance of all the
Right.
ingredients
All of
to
the
get
risks
it
we
right.
signed
So
up. Without you, there's no point to any of this.
yeah, when I watched
Where are we going?
when I
Another
I
Cerberus facility.
I watched
The
I
elusive man
watched
is waiting
so
for you
I
there.
started watching Chuck
I'm not sure
long
I
after
trust
play, and
This is the only shuttle off the station.
Miranda
You
actually
wanna stay
became one of
involved
my
with the mechs?
actually
guest.
all
I've had enough of this
actually
station
I
to
ended
last a
up
lifetime.
liking all the characters
Or 2
except
in your case. Come on.
Jacob. My brother and I agree that Jacob is the most boring character you could possibly have. I mean, he basically is just muscly and he has some daddy issues. That's it. And it's not even interesting, and it doesn't even go into anything interesting like I mean, not to say that his loyalty mission doesn't have its interesting
Before we
moments,
meet
but
the elusive man,
his
we
daddy
need to ask a few
issues
questions
seem to
to
be
evaluate
that
his
his
Come
father
on, Miranda,
wasn't
more tests.
there, and
Shepard took
because
down
he
those
was
mechs without any
working.
trouble. Good enough.
Not
It's been
that
2
his
years since the
father
attack. The elusive man needs to
had
know that
actual,
Shepard's personality and memories are
had
intact.
was actually a
Ask the
nut
questions.
job,
This is
which
a waste of time. I feel as good as ever.
The sooner we start, the sooner we can be done. Start with personal history.
Okay. Records show you were a colony kid. Lost your parents when the slavers hit Mindwar.
yeah, my
You enlisted
fan
in
fiction
one
I
battle
all.
fighting Batarians during the Skillian Blitz.
I also gave
You remember that?
Shepard
A lot of lives
sister.
depend on
I
the
don't.
I did
By
what I had to.
accident, actually. For
Everyone
some
put
reason,
it
I
damn
misremembered
impressive.
them
I had
saying
friends who were
family in this section
Miranda.
here.
Almost.
When I.
Let's try something more recent.
Yes, that that
Maya,
is
when you
still.
destroyed
If
Saren's
if
cloning
you come
facility,
across it
you had to
on
leave one of your squad behind to die in
fanfiction.net,
glass.
Lieutenant
I
Kagan
am
Lengo was killed in
the
action.
update was
Did
not a
you recall?
lie. I
Why
am
did you
working
leave
on
it
editing
behind?
it, but
I
there
left
are a
the French
ton,
down that day, and I
ton
didn't
of
do it
spelling
casually.
mistakes in
But I had to save as many people as I could.
that
Caden gave his life for the
came
rest of the
because
team.
I was writing
Without him, I couldn't have stopped
while
Sarah.
I was still
He
getting
died
my
a hero.
I
medications
understand,
right,
Commander.
and
I wasn't judging your decision.
such, and
Everybody
some of that
served
stuff
knows
was written
that
when I
clone
was off
facility
it.
had
But
to be destroyed.
if you
There
come
are other
across
tests
my
we really should run.
post Mass
Come
Effect
on,
3
Miranda.
fan
Enough with
fiction,
the quizzes. Memories are there.
it will
I
there
can
will
vouch
there
for
will
Shepard's
it will
combat
all,
skills
every story
personally.
will be finished,
suppose you're
and
right.
I am
to
editing
hope the
them
elusive man accepts
and I
all
am
the field
editing
tests
them
as evidence
even as
enough.
we speak to correct all the spelling and continuity mistakes, but for some reason I remember them saying fan. But yeah, as you can see, I'm also learning to use a brand new video editing software. It's not brand new. It's been on my computer for a while. Up until this point, I was having trouble with its interface. But
I thought we'd be meeting face to face.
because I had another one that was free and I thought, but and I was using it because I figured it would be more accurate because that one allowed you to actually enter in time codes but it turns out the time codes never seem to match exactly. So
Good to see your memory still
never
intact.
that you typed in on the free video editing software I was using never seemed to work. Never seems to work quite right. Now I'm using this. Now I'm using. It's an old version of Sony Vegas. It's like I think it's 2011, but it's
No one wants to admit it, but
I'm having to learn how to use the interface. But I am trying to cut down on all the busy work and stuff. But yeah, as I said, I hate anything that hides the eyes. My only problem with
Sovereign was trying to harvest all life in the galaxy. Why would the Reapers target a few human colonies?
Hundreds of thousands.
and this is where in my head canon I can make sense of Shepard helping Cerberus and still not be. I wanted to do Paragon Shepard because that's pretty much what I did in my fan fiction, and I ran into some people who despite my spelling mistakes, when I read my fanfiction, but they're not gamers. So they're some of the people that I'm making this stuff for. So I can just point to it and say, and
If this is a
and I can and they can say I want to know, and they say what's that reference? What's that? I can say well you don't have to play the game. Go look here. The conversation will be here. But in my head canon, Paragon Shepard helping Cerberus only really makes sense if you do the colonist background, because then it becomes a personal thing. It also makes sense of him doing everything he can and putting his team at risk to save everyone on Pharos. I covered that in one of my commentaries on the first Mass Effect.
I'd be disappointed if you accepted any of this without seeing for yourself. I have a shuttle ready to take you to Freedom's Progress, the latest colony.
Stop giving these colonies.
Miranda killed Wilson in cold blood. Jacob's just a gun for hire. You expect me to trust him?
But yeah, nothing against Jacob or the voice actor who plays him, and I did try to make him a little more interesting in my fanfiction. But my brother and I, who have both played this game, one of my brothers and I, we both agree. Jacob, out of all the characters here, he's the only one we count as sort of boring in that he seems to be every 90s cliche, not so much action hero as it is kids movie cliche.
Who's abducting the colonies? Do they have any connection?
And it's like,
I brought you back. It's up to you.
Actually, you didn't. Miranda and her team did. Hey, the guy who stabbed me in the back has more of a claim to that.
The elusive man is very impressed with you. I'm eager to see if you can live up to his expectations on this mission.
I can't have anyone disobeying my commands when we get there.
I know who I
And
report to.
this game is the only example of QuickTime events I've ever actually liked. It won't come up until later, but
Let's hope you're able to do the same.
it does make the conversations feel more like real conversations when you can jump in and do things.
It's your motivations that concern me. I believe in what
My only
Cerberus
problem with
stands for.
Miranda is that
Only time will tell if you prove to be an asset or a liability to
both of
our
her
cause.
outfits that you get in the default game are perfect examples of like
elusive man was. If I was running the
of
show, I
like
would have done a
horny
few things
gamers
differently.
or
What would you
animators
have
for
changed?
like
To
cartoons,
start, I
like
would have
taking the
implanted you with
female
some type of
characters and putting
control
them in something
But
that
the
you would
elusive man
never
wouldn't
wear
allow
in
it.
combat or
He
in
was
any
afraid it might
situation where you
affect your
wanted to take it
personality,
seriously.
alter
And
your
I know
character
lots of people
somehow.
say, "Oh, women
He
should
wouldn't
be
let us
allowed to
do
wear
anything
what
that
they
might
want,
limit
and
your
oh,
potential in any way.
you shouldn't be ugly."
Can't say
That
I
like
like
that,
the idea
and
of being
yeah,
brought
yeah,
back to
I
life
get
with a
that,
control
but
chip in my brain.
here's the thing: we live in
elusive
the
man is
real
taking an
world, and you know
incredible
that
risk
if
for
you
you.
have,
I just hope his gamble
if
pays off.
if you have some sort of
What can you tell me about this colony
butt-hugging
we're going to?
jumpsuit, which I don't even know
Freedom's
how
progress?
that would even
It's a
be
typical human
comfortable.
settlement in the Terminus
And
systems.
why would you
They've got a
wear
single
high
military
heels
force
in
for
combat?
protection
I got
supplemented by
I got a
nets
bunch
and
of
security
police
drones.
manuals
Average in
online
almost
for
every
different
way,
police
really.
departments doing research
Completely
for
unremarkable
for
until
a
the disappearance.
for a book I'm
Any
writing,
thoughts on what we might
and
run into there?
A lot of
pretty
empty
much all of them
buildings and one giant
pretty much
mystery.
all of them say in their dress code thing that
Tell me a little about
that
yourself.
that
Worried about my qualifications?
unless
I
it's
can
for
crush
some
a
sort of
neck with
special
my Alex or shoot
assignment,
its tail up at 100
female
yards.
officers are not allowed
Take
to
your pick.
wear high
Did
heels
you and
on
Jacob serve
duty
together in the Alliance?
because it's considered
No,
because
the
it's
elusive man
considered a
recognized my
safety
potential and
hazard.
recruited me at a young age.
So it's not
Old.
just a thing of it
Old enough to know this is what I wanted.
it
I was
it
trying to get to know you as a human being.
of it.
I'm not looking
It's
for a
not.
friend,
It's not
Shepard.
just me saying
Stay
that it comes
focused on
off
the
as
mission.
like slutty. It's me
obvious you're not
saying that,
interested in talking.
you know, to me
We've got
it
an
seems
assignment. We
like
can talk
it
about
seems
it,
like
or we can do it.
male animators or TV producers, if it's a live action show,
glad the elusive
deciding
man
to
convinced you to join us.
deciding
I just
that
want to find out what happened to those missing people.
deciding
I still don't trust Cerberus.
deciding to put sex appeal above
You trust me,
any
Commander?
sort of logic for
You're a
the
good man,
outfits.
Jacob.
I
You
mean,
might be working for the wrong people.
I don't even see.
Maybe.
I mean, outfits
But I
like
thought the same when I
Miranda's,
was with
I don't
the
even see how they
Alliance.
would be comfortable. I mean,
That's
having
why I'm
something
here
that
now.
rides that high up into your bottom,
you
it
served in the
just
Alliance?
seems like ouch.
5 years in total.
Um,
Stationed all over the galaxy. Even spent a couple of
I
years as a
don't, I
Corsair.
don't.
I've
If
never
it
heard
weren't
of
for
the
the fact
Corsair.
that
It
that
was
you
an
have
Alliance
to
initiative.
buy
They
that
hired
you had to buy
independent
those stupid
starship
Bioware
captains and
points
used
to
them
get
for
the
missions that fell outside
to
official
get the
Alliance jurisdiction.
to get
Technically, we
all
weren't part of
to
the
get the
Alliance. If we ever got caught,
DLC.
they could disavow
So
any
I always
knowledge.
had points left
We were
over. I
supposed to be
wouldn't have
free
gotten
from
the
restrictions
alternate
and rules.
outfits for any
There was still
character,
enough red tape to sink
but
a cruiser.
I kind of like the alternate outfit for Miranda,
Why
and
did
you'll
you
see
join
her in it
Cerberus?
later
I
because
guess I just got
it
tired
looks
of
more
them
like
making a
something you
difference.
wear in combat. I
So
kind
much
of wish
what
that
we
they
did in
give
the Alliance seemed
everybody
pointless. I thought things would change
like
after the
you,
attack
you
on the
know,
Citadel.
civilian clothes
Humanity
on the
was finally
ship and
invited to join
then,
the council.
you know, a battle
Nothing
outfit
changed.
because Miranda's
Politics, bureaucracy, same bullshit,
outfit
different leaders.
and especially
Cerberus is
Jax
different.
doesn't look like anything
Colonies
you'd
go
want to
missing,
wear
we don't commission a
in any
team to
sort of
write a report to
combat
figure out what the hell to do about it.
or
just go and
when
find
you're
out.
exploring an
know
unknown
anything
alien
about this
planet,
colony we're
which you
going
do
to?
a lot.
It's called
But
Freedom's Progress.
but
Don't know much
here
else.
it's more
Guess we'll find
straightforward
out
in
when
that
we
you
get
just
there.
go down to do the mission.
That's all for now.
And I'm probably the
Yes,
only
sir.
one who misses Mako because I like exploring the worlds and stuff.
We should be there shortly, Shepard. The elusive man put us under your command. Do you have any orders?
Yes, get me a beer.
Are you sure you'll be comfortable following my orders?
I don't drink. That,
Bring you back
that
from
just
the
seemed
dead
like a
just to
funny
second guess you,
line.
The elusive man says you're in charge, you're in charge.
Yeah, that would be pretty
What did you find at the
stupid.
other colonies?
Except that in pretty much every job I've ever had, whenever I've been given
Disappear.
any sort of authority over over coworkers,
investigation
once
will
a
turn up anything new?
once a conflict
At other
comes up,
colonies,
it
official
seems
investigators
like
knock out first.
it seems like all of a
Sometimes
sudden
looters or
one
salvage
person
as well.
over me
We're hoping to
says,
be the first
"Oh
ones
yeah,
there this
oh
time.
yeah, you were in charge
find
there,"
clues before
and then
somebody
another
else
person says,
disturbs
"Oh
the
no,
Our
I didn't
first
mean
priority
that
is
you
to
were
get the
actually
survivors.
supposed
That's on my
to be in
commander.
charge
No
of
one was
this
left at the other colonies. They were
or this
completely deserted.
project we put you
Nice to
in
find
charge of."
somebody.
No.
Anything's better than another ghost town.
Not if it actually means actually having to tell people what to do. So a xenophobic terrorist organization. Yes, I used that correctly. A lot of people will refer to Ashley as xenophobic, and well, I don't as a racist actually. In the first game, wait, that was the number one reaction to Ashley. I think was negative reaction to Ashley, and I don't think she's that big of it. Not compared to what she could be, but yeah, but the correct term. But as you just heard Jacob making that remark, as you say, as you can see, this is going to be much longer simply because I have to show you more of the gameplay to get a lot of the actual character interaction in, and I like that. That's a video game being a game and totally immersing me. It just means that the Let's Play is going to be longer. That's all. Because I have to show you more of the gameplay and more of me missing. But yeah, but as I was saying, I like Miranda's alternate and Jack's alternate outfits that I normally don't buy DLC. You know, I miss the days of PC expansion packs where you could. But I'm gonna put up a video because I did a rant on one of my Sims 3 videos about things EA has done wrong. I'm gonna put up a video a little later of things EA's done right, and I'll tell you why I think, and in that I'll explain in detail why I think they've done a better job with DLC than some other people. And yeah,
Stop right there.
one of my favorite video game characters of all time shows up.
Shepard?
I'm not taking any chances with Cerberus operatives.
That's the thing is, even when Mass Effect is bad, I still find myself interested in the characters, and yet, well, I find Jacob kind of boring. I don't hate him.
Why is your old commander working for Cerberus?
I don't know. Maybe we should ask.
And
I nearly died, Tally.
the actress playing
Likely story. No
Callie, again, her
organization
voice
makes so many
acting I think has
resources to bring
improved
back
by
one
leaps
soul.
and bounds, along with but like Mark Mears, her sort of pseudo-Russian accent doesn't sound like.
He was here on pilgrimage.
Isn't that a little strange? A Quarian visiting a remote human colony?
Well, you did meet her on. Well, she did come to this.
Vitor liked the idea of helping a small settlement. He was always nervous in crowds.
She means that he was unstable. Combine that with damage to his CO2 scrubbers and an infection from an
You would
open-air
think,
explosion, and he's likely delirious.
You would think there'd be less judgment of people with any sort of psychological or physical conditions in a
Vitor's the only one who
in
can
a
solve what happened here. We should work together.
in a
Good idea.
in a society where parents can only have one child each, because you would think then that child would be branded as, sort of like as sort of like special, and that there be, and with their medical expertise, you think it'd be more like, well, he just happens to need some medication in order not to be nervous.
That's not how I have explained it exactly.
And this is an example of good writing. You'll come across this again, and it sort of implies, if you pay attention, it sort of implies later that it was Jack, but nobody actually comes out and says it. Never actually links up, and it never becomes a thing. And I know some people would think that that's a missed opportunity, but yeah, that's a part where the game glitched and froze on me, and I had to restart. For some reason, I don't know. I've encountered very few glitches in this game. Again, it's a very well-made game, and I think the shooting gameplay and everything, and all the controls to your what? Oh, darn! I thought I edited that out. Oh, darn it! That's part of the glitch. I thought I edited that out, but I guess I didn't, and now it's been uploaded for a couple of weeks.
Reprogrammed the heavy mech. It's tearing Praza's squad apart.
They did want to get to Vitor first.
Get your squad into cover and I'll open the
Why?
building gate.
Wow, I'm glad you, real tasteful there. They're not even done getting killed, and already you're being sarcastic. Yeah, here is me.
Take point, Shepard. We'll cover the door.
Yeah. But yeah, as you can see,
Taking
a
cover.
game that this is one of those games that totally immerses me simply because I like the characters, and even bad Mass Effect, I kind of like the characters too much to actually hate it. I mean, when I get to it, I'll explain why. From the start, I was kind of disappointed in Mass Effect 3, and I think it comes down to the fact that it was only in development for like 2 years, and during that same time they were doing Mass Effect 2's DLC. I think what EA should have done there.
This is gonna be one tough son of a bitch to take
Yeah,
down.
I think Miranda's outfit looks kind of ridiculous in battle conditions like this, because it doesn't look like it protects you, and it looks like something that, and while all the males are in outfits that look like that look kind of like they're like a mix between astronaut suits. Yeah, this is the key here, is knowing that there's that ammo there. The first couple times I played this, I didn't realize there was a building with ammo in it. And I almost always lose Miranda. I almost always have to revive Miranda in this fight. For some reason, the mech seems to focus in on her instead of you. Which, yeah. I'm not going to show you every single thing you can get as a secret, because that would make this Let's Play like 70 billion hours long or something. There is a lot of game. It's nowhere near the longest RPG I've ever played. And again, this is the example of my trying to integrate character background and character interaction. Is that when he meets somebody like this who's traumatized by like being attacked and was a civilian or something, I go for the Paragon option of responses to them, and if there isn't one, I go for the middle ground instead of anything Renegade, simply because in my book, in my mind, Shepard went through that. He knows exactly what it was like. He's one of the few people who survived the slavers coming in and just killing everyone on his colony and taking them as slaves. So he knows what that trauma. So he knows how what that trauma is.
Looks like
he's not
he
going.
must have pieced it together manually.
What the hell is that?
Maybe he.
My God. I think it's a collector.
Is that some kind of alien?
I love it. Shepard, super agent. Most decorated war hero ever.
Like slavers or hired mercenaries.
What's that? Everybody seems to know. I get he's the player's standing character, and there isn't another way around that. It's just something that always makes me laugh in video games or movies when the players, when the audience identification figure is also, some sort of big hero, yet he knows less about what's going on than anybody else.
I want to know more about the collectors.
This is one of the proofs to me that the story in fact, that there were massive rewrites to the ending of Mass Effect 3 was that, when you get to the end of this game and you find out why they're abducting humans, it seems pretty clear why Reapers need to harvest humans,
Sounds like miniature probes, maybe. Find victims, then immobilize
when I get to
them
Mass
with a
Effect 3,
stasis field and nerve toxin.
just so you know, I won't be covering Leviathan in that, because on every system I've tried it on, on 2 different systems with 3 different graphics cards. There's a glitch in there. There's a glitch in that that's never been patched, and I tried all the fan-made fixes and all walkarounds to get through it. That keeps me stuck on a ladder. So I know that the Leviathan DLC supposedly goes more into the Reapers and their motives and such and their creation, but that won't be covered there.
We appreciate what you told us.
Just FYI.
You were very helpful.
See, that's the example of me. Normally I go for the Renegade option if it's just going between,
electromagnetic.
going between,
We need to get this data to the elusive man. Grab the quarry and call the shuttle to
going between, you know, something that gives you no points and something that gives you some, you know, conversation points. And that's,
Just need to see if he knows anything else. He'll be returned unharmed.
Your people tried to
you
betray
know,
us once already. If we give him to you, we'll never get the intel we need.
Praza was an idiot, and he and his
normally,
men paid for it.
normally
You're
that
welcome
would,
to take me towards Omnital data, but
no,
please,
you
just
know,
let me take him.
normally
You
I'd
don't have to
choose
take
Renegade,
Igor
but
and
when
go.
it comes to somebody
We
who's
can work
traumatized
together,
by
just
an
like
attack
old
on
times.
civilians,
I
it doesn't
want
make
to, but
sense
I
to me
can't.
that Shepard would
I've
be
got a
mean
mission
to
of my
that
own.
person
It's
because...
too important for me to abandon, even for you. When it's over.
But as I was saying
and
about
I'm
her
still
voice
alive,
acting,
we'll see
her
what
Russian
happens.
accent has gotten a
That
lot
sounds
better,
dangerous.
and it's a lot
What
more,
are you doing?
and it's consistent
I
now,
don't
and a
think
lot
Cerberus
more
needs to hear about it.
emotional. I felt like some of the emotion was drained out of her voice in the first game, even though I liked her character in that game
He's
too.
traumatized
And
he needs medical
I
care.
was,
Tally will give us
and
Omnital
playing
data
it back
and
on the
take him to
Xbox
kill him.
360 before it broke down.
Understood, Commander.
I didn't get to the part where you find out who you're, but
I'm glad you're still the one
but
giving
I
me
could
yours.
tell from the number of
luck out there.
conversations that
If
she
I
wasn't going to
find
be a
anything
romantic
that can
interest.
help,
I was
I'll
one of
let
those
you
people
know.
that was like,
We're ready
really?
for pickup.
I think it was because they weren't expecting anybody to really care about the love story of her, because who does in video games? Normally in video games and action movies, that's worst part, but yeah, here you can see that this video editing software, as I'm learning to use it, works a lot better. I can do a lot more cuts. I can do a lot more precise cuts and get the runtime down when people aren't talking.
Diplomacy is great when it works, but difficult when everyone already perceives you as a threat.
Well, you know, you might only have yourself to blame there.
Why do I get the feeling you knew about them already?
For that, I mean, did you see what you were doing?
The collectors are enigmatic at best. They periodically travel to the terminus.
Did you see what you were doing in the first game, and what we find in this game?
For their technology. When their transactions are complete, they disappear as quickly as they arrived, back beyond the unmapped Omega 4 relay. Until now, we've had no evidence of direct aggression by the collectors.
What are the collectors getting from these
Other
heroes?
than their kidnapping small numbers of people, but that doesn't count as direct aggression, apparently.
Genetic mutations or abnormalities. They pay slavers and merc groups exorbitant sums to obtain these specimens. And then they leave.
Again, that's not
They
counted
never
as direct
targeted a single
aggression.
species before, and the previous sample sizes were in the billions, not
Okay,
tens of
okay.
thousands.
So it's not a direct
Why is the
aggression
Omega 4 relay
until you're abducting billions
Only
instead
that
of
no ship
thousands of
passing
people.
through it has ever returned. Our best guess is that the relay reacts differently to collectors,
I love
allowing them safe
I love
passage.
most of the writing in
If they
Mass
can
Effect,
manipulate
but
relays,
that just makes
that's
me
further evidence
but
of
that
the
just makes
connections
me
to
laugh
Reapers.
there via.
Any ideas on why they've shifted their focus?
There's that
They're
just
agents
makes
for
me
the
laugh
Reapers.
there.
It could be any number of reasons.
Yeah, that's not
Obviously,
direct
humanity
aggression
plays a
at
huge
all.
role in Sovereign's destruction.
You
And like
hear
everyone
that?
else,
Anyone
they
out
love
there
attention.
who wants to
What
start
really
kidnapping?
is why they bother abducting the colonists. Once the
I
humans
wonder
are
if I
paralyzed,
wonder
why
if that
not
would
just
actually
kill
be our government's policy.
You're
You
holding
kidnap.
something
You
back.
kidnap.
How
Oh,
do you
you
know the
don't.
Reapers are involved?
Oh.
The patterns are there,
Don't
buried in the data.
don't call.
Consulate the Alliance
If
might
ISIS.
believe
Imagine
you
if
could
ISIS
die
was
with
just
Sovereign.
kidnapping people.
You and I
And
know. I won't wait until the
imagine if our
Reapers are
government
on
said,
march. We need to take the fight together.
no. ISIS isn't aggressive towards us because
Hey,
they've
wait,
only
but I
kidnapped
need a
several
team.
thousand people.
I've already compiled
Wait
a list
until
of
it
soldiers,
reaches about
scientists,
3
and
million.
mercenaries. You'll get
Then
dossiers on the best
then we'll count.
Finding
Then
them
we'll
and convincing them to work
count
with you could be
ISIS
challenging, but you're
as a actual
I'll
threat.
continue to track the collectors.
Okay,
When
maybe
they
that's a
make their
bad
next
analogy
appearance,
because
I'll notify you and your team.
yeah,
Be
I
ready.
apologize if anybody finds that bad or tasteless analogy. I'm trying to come up with something that's hostile
Keep your
to
rest. I want
to us
people I
that
trust.
could
To help me
kid
stop Sarah
that
and
has,
Gas.
could presumably
That was
could
2 years
kidnap
ago, Commander.
thousands
Most
or
of them have
millions of
moved
people.
on, or their allegiances have changed.
Where's Ashley Williams?
She's still with the Alliance. Promoted, I believe. Her file is surprisingly well classified.
And
Where's Erdnot Rex?
somehow you're able
He
to get
returned through
everything
Chikara,
else.
And he hasn't gone off-world in over a year. He's trying to unite the Krogan clans.
I don't ask about Tally here because
Garrus Vicarian.
I just heard it from her.
Vicarian disappeared a few months after
It seems
we
kind of
were
funny that that's even an option to
we
me.
had
I mean,
been
again,
located.
Where's Liara Tassoni?
She's on Ilium. My sources say that she's working for the Shadow Broker. If so, she can't be trusted.
Okay, I get it. They're not available.
the voice actors are busy, or
You'll get who you
something.
need.
I'm still a Spectre.
Being a
Maybe I
nobody,
can get the council to help
I
us out.
mean, in Mass Effect 3, I was disappointed about the number of Mass Effect 2, how Mass Effect 2 characters were reduced to cameos, but
You worry about the
but-
actors. I'll make sure my team's ready.
at least there they had the excuse of it being possible to lose. It is possible to lose. In fact, the first time I did this, I didn't realize planet scanning was required, and I just skipped it. So the first time I played this, I got the really bad ending where everybody, including Shepard, dies, and I had to replay it. But that's what tells you that this is a good game. Normally, if I got to that point, I'd be like, I would have just tossed aside and I would have been done with the series. But instead, I went back.
Hey, Commander. Just
And
like old times,
I actually had to because I couldn't find a copy. Yeah, actually,
Look who's talking. I saw you
everyone
in
I know who has
space.
the PC version of Mass Effect, who got it after Mass Effect 2, helped the. I really think Mass Effect 2 is probably, when it comes to a sequel making an IP, really popular. I mean, I remember people talking about Mass Effect on the Xbox 360, but now, but after Mass Effect 2 came out, it seemed like everybody I knew and every website knew Shepard. Shepard became an actual internet meme and everything, and all the basics of the Mass Effect universe sort of became tropes and icons of the gaming industry. And so, good job there, BioWare, because after Street Fighter 2, taking Street Fighter, an arcade game that wasn't really anything special. In fact, it was so not something special that nobody even noticed when the home console version actually changed its name to Fighting Street for some reason. No idea why they did that. But it's what propelled Mass Effect. This is the game that I think propelled Mass Effect into the upper stratosphere. And while because I like exploration, I like the sense of exploration. I understand why they, but how you get as opposed to planet scanning. I like Mass Effect 1 better. Good job here, BioWare.